Hey everybody, stick around because in this video I'm going to show you 4 things that you probably don't have, but you absolutely need in your first aid kit. Thanks for clicking on this video. Whether you are into disaster prepping, or you're into the outdoors, or if you just have a household you're trying to maintain, you need a first aid kit. Now most people are going to have what's affectionately referred to as an ouchie boo boo kit, which contains band-aids and a little bit of cream and some other stuff that you might need in the event of a small emergency. Well, you're going to need a little bit more than that. And depending on what kind of outside activities you're into, you might need some more specialized stuff. So these things that I'm going to show you are 4 items that you can get for right around 20 bucks for all of it to add to your kit and make it a little bit more complete. All of these things are going to impact issues that you're probably going to encounter if you're operating in the outdoors, whether you're hiking or camping or whatever it is you're doing. These are things that you're probably going to come across a need for if you haven't already at some point. And given my recommendation of these items for a hiking or camping setup, space and weight is everything. All of these items are designed to be carried while occupying minimal space and adding very little extra weight to your kit. So let's dive into this and see what we've got. Also, if you see any of these items that you're interested in, I'll provide affiliate links in the description box down below that will take you to each and every one of these items. This first item is something you may or may not have in your first aid kit presently, but if you don't, you need to make sure you do. If you're camping or if you're hiking, you're always going to be around fire. And the first thing that you're going to need to make sure you have is burn cream. Burn creams are designed to add a little bit of a pain relief while also blocking out infection. Whether you've stuck your hand in the fire, or you've grabbed a hot pot handle, or you've spilled some boiling water on you, the rest of your outing is going to be miserable if you don't have some kind of burn cream to help mitigate that. These that I found are in a very small package. You can carry a handful of these with you and not have to worry about it taking up a bunch of room. Also, they're individual packages, so you don't have to worry that you're going to open a large container and end up wasting a bunch of it, or it's going to go bad because now it's open and you have a limited amount of shelf life now because you've broken the seal on the package. Each one of these is a single treatment, and then once you're done with it, you can just throw away that package. Now, of course, there's 2 common things you're going to run into while you're camping, hiking, or just enjoying the outdoors. Besides burns, the next thing you're going to encounter are cuts. You're constantly using tools, whether it's to prepare food or to process firewood or to just set up your campsite. At some point, you're going to end up with a cut that just doesn't seem to want to stop bleeding. You may be on blood thinners, or you may have just cut yourself really deep, or the injury may be on a part of your body that's just prone to bleeding more. You're going to need some kind of wound seal. Now, this particular product is a powder that you put on the cut. In this particular packaging, it comes with 4 individual containers. You can take one of these, you can slip it into your first aid kit. For what it's worth in its effectiveness, it's definitely worth that tiny little amount of space it's going to take up in your gear. Inside each of these tubes is a powdered clotting agent, and it requires the presence of blood in order for it to work. So it's not something where you want to try to wash off as much as you can and treat the area like with, say, a super glue type treatment. This powder gets into the wound and into the blood and starts clotting immediately. So if you've got a deep cut and it just doesn't want to stop flowing, all you've got to do is take this, pour it on there, let it get down in there and do its thing, and it's going to immediately start sealing up that wound. Now, if you've got a bleeding wound like that that doesn't want to stop, it's probably time to break camp. Go ahead and cut bait and go home for the weekend, because once you've got a wound like that, if you don't get it treated, and if you don't get it properly bandaged, or if you just keep using your hands and open it up again, you're going to run into the potential for more problems. So as much as nobody likes to go home from their camping trip just because of a little cut on their hand, it might be time to do that with an injury like that. This next item was something I stumbled on quite by accident. I didn't even know that this existed. How many times have you been on a camping trip, you're sitting around the campfire, and a piece of ash blows into your eye? How many times have you been on the trail and you ended up with something directly in your eyes? Maybe an insect flew in there and now you've got a bug carcass in your eye. You've got to have a way to flush that out. Nobody wants to carry a giant bottle of saline solution in order to do that. And you can wash your eyes out with water, but that is going to remove the mucus that keeps your eye fluid. It's going to dry out your eye. It's going to create problems. So the best way to do that is with an emergency eye wash. Now, this particular package has 4 individual containers of sterile eye wash inside of them. You can take one of these out, put it in your kit, and put the rest in a cabinet at home so that you can just restock as you need it. When you need it, you simply snap open one of these vials, wash out your eye, and you're ready to get back in action. This last item is something that I found recently that is just, it's super cool. This is a brilliant design. I'd never seen this before. I cannot tell you how many times I've needed something like this on a trip. This is splinter out. There are not many things that are more aggravating than getting a splinter in your hand and not being able to get it out. Sure, you could dig around until you find your sewing kit, sterilize a needle, and dig it out. These are designed as an individual use sterile tool that you can get that splinter out in no time. Just open up the package and you take out one of these sleeves that's right about the size of a Band-Aid. There's a little notch that says tear here. You're going to open this up and then you're going to get this little tool out of here. It's a small metal stick with a very fine point at the end that will allow you to dig the splinter out, and then if you need to be able to get under it and push it out with minimal effort. These are all sterile. You don't have to worry about sterilizing it once you open it. It's ready to go as soon as you get it out of the package. This thing is super cool and super handy, and while it is a single purpose tool, when you need one of these things, this is what you need. You're not going to have to get some big bulky knife out and try to cut your splinter out. This is a very fine point that is designed for that job. An additional thing about these splinter outs is because of the way the package is set up, you can grab you a couple of these and put them in the same pouch that you keep your Band-Aids in because they're just about the same size. So it'll fit perfectly in a pack of Band-Aids. There are my 4 must-have items for any outdoorsman to put in his first aid kit. What do y'all think of these items? Which of these do you think is the coolest thing? Which is a must-have for your kit? Are you going to go grab one of them, or are you going to grab all 4 of them and put them in your first aid kit? Well, I hope you found this informative, and I hope that at least one of these items will fulfill some need that you might have. But that's it for this video, and until the next one, prepare for the world that you live in, not the one you wish existed. We'll see you next time.